If you've been spending a lot more time in front of the TV these days, you may have noticed a shift in advertising. With COVID-19 lockdowns, marketing campaigns had to be rewritten overnight. Here's Mike Drolet now on the struggle to get the message right.
By the time Canadians were being told to shut their doors and isolate, Tim Horton's marketing team was already turning their massive advertising ship around. Everything that had been planned was now out the window.
Our drive-thrus are here for you.
Replaced by sound advice from the drive-thru.
I can use an example of a natural disaster. When the hurricane hits, nobody does any advertising. But the hurricane passes in 2 or 3 days. The problem is this hurricane is taking 12 weeks to pass by. Can we just sit in a vacuum for 12 weeks? No.
This buds for the blues.
The one consistent message across all brands is support for frontline workers and those who've lost so much because of COVID-19.
This buds for the home team.
But what's really interesting is the number of companies that are putting out ads merely to keep their brands active. You wouldn't know this was an Uber ad until the end, when the company gives thanks for people not calling them. A similar sentiment we found from car manufacturers whose business has dried up, urging customers to stay home. But then you have all those ads companies have scrambled to pull. KFC has been using its finger-licking good slogan since the 1950s. But in 2020, licking your fingers is a big no-no. And who would have predicted so many people would be working from home? Coors Light and its official Beer of Working Remotely campaign would suggest Coors had an inkling, except those ads, which are no longer running, were produced months ago and were aimed at U.S. college basketball fans.
But separated, we are today more united than ever.
Tone is everything right now. No company wants to look insensitive, or even worse, opportunistic.
It's a super fine balance between, trying to use this for commercial gain versus trying to just stay in touch with Canadians and reassure that we're here for Canadians, I think is one thing, versus trying to, squeeze more commercial value out of people at a time like that. I think that's where you cross a line.
And don't expect that to change anytime soon, at least not as long as we're in isolation. Mike Drolet, Global News, Toronto.
With stay-at-home orders in place, it's easy to find an excuse to wander into the kitchen where the recipe for packing on the pounds lurks in every cupboard. Tonight, Reggie Cecchini looks at ways to watch your waistline and help flatten your curves during the pandemic.
Sweet potatoes?
Yeah. Isolation and quarantine have now become a new normal for most of the world. And while practicing social distancing is now helping to slow the spread, the more time we spend indoors leads to more time spent in front of open doors.
We likely will be snacking more often when we are working from home. That's just because we have easier access to our kitchen and pantry.
As more homes double as offices, practicing social distancing from the fridge has become food for thought. And dietitians say remembering your old routines can help put off the dreaded quarantine 19.
Follow a schedule as if you're going to the actual office, meaning that you would dress up for work, scheduling breaks in between your workday.
Big changes in life can often weigh on us. The freshman 15 is a lesson most college students learn when they're left to their own devices. And while adults may not be binging on boxed mac and cheese and 99-cent ramen, we are pushing it to the extreme.
We've had cookies and pizza and 2 bottles of wine, and we've had Cheez-Its, fried chicken, and we're feeling fine.
But while it's tempting to dip into the treat cupboard or bake up a storm, it could lead to some regret down the road.
It becomes more stressful when it starts affecting our sleep, or when we're waking up and we're not feeling good about ourselves or our appearance or our energy levels.
Experts say getting up and out in a safe manner, even for 20 minutes a day, can stop you from having to pop a new hole in your belt.
People need to look at this as a time to take advantage of and get themselves into a better place, so when this time expires, we're able to kind of jump back into the workforce and, the environment that we're used to being in.
Emotions often run high in times of stress, and that can lead to unwanted binging. And with no certainty over when this will end, there may not be a rush to get that summer body. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't practice safe snacks.
When does it become too much? When it starts affecting you mentally or physically.
A delicate balance of feeding our need to feel normal without overindulging. Reggie Cecchini, Global News, Washington.
There's so much information surrounding coronavirus out there now. We know you have questions. Email your questions at globalnews.ca. Tune in to Global National or go to globalnews.ca/coronavirus now to find the answers.